Greetings, YouTube. This is Self Mastery 101. And today I'm going to talk to you about the devil's tactics that they use in order for them to win this game, and things that you should look out for, because when you take out one of Satan's little minions, you take out all. And they are right now, they have already been formed with this coalition in this game, and I'm going to assist in catching us up to speed so that we can start winning and we can keep our homes, our jobs, our vehicles, and things to avoid. So without further ado, the very first thing that they do, and this is in the workplace, how you know they're plotting against you. They will send you home early. And they'll say, oh, you know what, so-and-so, you can go home early, because they're plotting on you. If you still need your job, it's been advised, while those demons are working together, do not take a vacation, because that's when they can really plot. And when you come back, you won't have a job. They always do things when you're gone. They do things behind your back. They also create stories behind your back. So you'll be fine for a couple of months with them, and all of a sudden people start acting shady towards you, and then all of a sudden so-and-so wants to confront you and you don't even know what they're talking about. That's because they're already plotting and creating false narratives about you. And the best thing to do for that is to document it. So put it in the notes in your phone. It's so much better than writing it, because we can always, we can lose paper easily, but with our cell phones, we have the cell phone on our hip. Another thing they do, especially if you're in customer service, they will send fake customers to harass you. And just yell at you. And then they'll say, oh, you know what, so-and-so is going to, like whatever the service is. And the person and the people actually automatically target you, and you're wondering, what is this? Am I on the show Punked? Because this makes no sense why this person is being very argumentative with me. Another thing, because they send you fake everything, fake friends, fake significant others. Your family members even turn fake, or they've always been fake. And it could have been your family members even involved in this disgusting game. It's a simulation, basically, to take out the chosen ones. We have to be aware. Another thing where you know that a person that you clicked with and became friends with, when they are trying to basically taint your energy and turn everything into negative, you're going to feel great. You're going to be feeling great. And then the person calls you, and then they just dump on you. And then you can't even get a word in edgewise to maybe tell a story release some toxicity and talk about your bad day. They hurry up and get off the phone with you after they dumped. That is also a part of the game. They get points, so to speak, when they even do that. And this is it's very subtle. When somebody tells you, and it's a stranger or anywhere, if they tell you, have a nice day, you're going to repeat the same thing, give it back to them and say, have a nice day. Because they're being bossy and they're telling you what kind of day for you to have. When you give that back to them, I can guarantee you that several strangers will come up to you and say, have a nice day. Because it is a game and they're all in on it. Your neighbors also check, go on walks. A lot of times when we're working, going to church or going to the gym, we tend to lose perspective of our surroundings. So go walking and see how many houses or apartments are empty. See what's being occupied. Notice the vehicles that are around, because they also hire people to become difficult neighbors just to harass you. I've seen that, and the minions, they're not very bright, because in a way they tell you that they're after you. Like, for example, I had a neighbor, when she moved in, she said, oh, I was on a waiting list. I'm so glad I got this apartment. Well, there really was no waiting list, because I saw literally at the place I used to live, I literally saw a bunch of empty apartments. She was on a waiting list to come to take out the chosen one. And then your neighbors will start doing subtle things to be very annoying to you. And then it starts to increase, because they want to put pressure on you so that you can lose your temper. And the best thing to do is recognize that. Like, for example, my neighbor was always taking my parking space. So what I did was I waited, and eventually she left that parking space. And then I parked my car there, did not move it, and took Ubers and walked. And basically I told her, why don't you park over there in that second spot? I'm not going to park there. You don't tell me where to park. I said that basically mentally, but I didn't tell her that. That woman was so angry. And you just have to say to yourself, when you have a difficult neighbor, I will be here and you will be gone. I was here first. Another thing they do, they will send people to just where they post people at the bus stop. They find out exactly what your hobbies are or what your habits are. And they send people to harass you. Complete strangers. And you'll notice certain cars following you. Because what I did an experiment. Because I said, I feel like I'm being followed. So I started to leave my home at different times. Like I did like even 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I kid you not, there would be a bunch of cars all of a sudden going out the gate at the time that I'm walking out the gate. They have everything set up, and you have to really look at your neighborhood, really pay attention to that. Because where you're thinking everything is okay, you're all of a sudden surrounded by a bunch of demons and you're outnumbered. Even though you can handle everything because God has a covering on you, you just have to really take a look at certain things. Complaining or reporting. When you have those annoying neighbors, or you have a coworker who has been very toxic to you, it makes no sense to complain, because they're all a part of it. They will automatically take that person's side and make it look and twist everything around to make it look like it's your fault. Also, with those people, you make sure that you say very little. They take your words and they twist it, and they use their human intelligence to basically influence other people into believing this lie. So like, it's difficult, but you're going to have to just hi and bye when you're at work, and only talk about work related things, because these people twist the words, and then all of a sudden you see people coming from different locations, different branches, to harass you and to see if you're going to say the same thing. And they also try to set you up by gossiping about one of their people so that you can mess around and say something about that person. That's all a setup. And then they come and gang up on you saying that you were gossiping. So the best thing to do is stick and move. Very little conversation. Only when you're going to your churches, those are the people that you can trust. Also in the churches, because these demons, they have a whole setup, this whole game. They even have fake members of, your church, mosque, synagogue, ashram, temple, monastery. They have them come in there and they post. And they'll make either sly comments about a totally different religion that has nothing to do with the place that you're worshiping at, or they become members and then they commit crimes, and then it's blasted all over the media, where it is ruining the reputation of God's houses, where you have to use discernment. So when it's any religion, we have to start reporting to take all that negativity down from the media, because those stories, 99.999% is not true. They do that to get people to not want to go to the church, because each time you're praying, you're basically setting off an alarm and bringing down Satan's house. Every time you pray, and even if you think you're doing a simple prayer, or when you're just reading your scriptures out loud or to yourself, these demons are very sensitive people. They can dish it out, but for sure they cannot take it. That's why when they're ganging up on you, they're never alone. They always have a group. Even if you think they're just talking to you alone, they end up getting all of this gumption to go off on you and tell you off. But when you're feeling nervous or feeling a fear, that's not your fear. That is their fear. And they are projecting the energy and the emotion onto you to make you feel fear. It's better not to argue with them, because they'll want to go around the mulberry bush, and the argument has nothing to do with nothing. They're not really saying anything. It's better to walk away from them and read your surahs, your scriptures, whatever you're reading, and do your prayer to pray that energy off of you. They even create scenarios, and they will act like they are on your side, and they will pretend to argue with their people, saying, I stood up for you. They did not stand up for you. That was a way for you to open your door. So the gateway to the soul, it's for you to open your doorway to let these people in and to start telling them all of your personal business. Be sure to avoid that. When they start asking you questions, like you're on an interview and they're asking very personal questions, like, oh, how much money do you make? How much money did you get from your taxes? Immediately, to leave that person alone and disconnect, because it's a whole operation. to take us out. Their time has ran out. A lot of us chosen ones, we're the ones on the streets because we're all separated. We're loners. We're separated. But when we do band together and we can use some of those tactics that they use, our authority is way more powerful than their authority. You figure if they are taking so many people, even police officers, all these local people, your apartment, like the property management, they're all in on it because they get paid. So then they move people purposely right by you. The homeowners association, they bully. They put a neighbor in there, and the neighbor starts reporting you for everything. And then they just sell your house without your knowledge. And here you are like, what do you mean? How did you sell my house when you're not even on the deed? And then when you contact politicians, like I did, not one of them will help. They all have an excuse. But in all fairness to the politicians, the influence is very strong and they don't want to get involved because then it affects them. It's a whole operation. It's secret. We weren't supposed to know about this game. So now you can feel better about yourself and know that that was just their tactic to harass you. You can do only so much with changing yourself and refining yourself. That's great to refine yourself, but never refine yourself because somebody told you about yourself, because that's another false narrative that they create to make you feel less than, because they know that you carry God's authority. So that's the only thing they can do, is to do psychological warfare. So we have to all be vigilant when it comes to Satan's minions. It's big. A lot of people in the big industries who you don't even think are involved, they are. And we can have our own operations. We can do it. We can take care of our own. Hire our people. Promote our people if we're in those management positions or if we own a business. We have to take care of each other. That's how you band together. Never be separated. And when it comes to believers and disbelievers, just know you're in the believers group. There is no subgroups. We're all in it together. And we have to defeat the enemy of all wrongdoing so that we can get out of this samsara and live the life that we deserve. This matrix, it's only good for 1% of the people. So Satan's little minions who are doing this, they're not even really benefiting from it. But they're just doing it based off of a promise. And just like they give you empty promises, they received empty promises. They're all full of air. We trust God. It is better to trust God than any man. God will never fail you, and he always keeps his promise. Satan and a lot of humans are fallible. And when it comes to something a goal that you want, only trust in God. That's it. No one else. I hope this helps everyone. Have a blessed one.